Now, I looked that way. I was like, I'm dealing with it, I'm dealing with it. But there's a problem with being male. If it feels good, after a while you just kind of go, well, you know, any port in a storm. And maybe it's time for me to cast out all my straight guy hang-ups and just admit, it feels good. He has a wonderful technique. And so now my challenge is not to become visually aroused, because that will definitely delay my time getting onto the flight. So he gets all the way down to my ankles mercifully, and he stands up and he said, I'm sorry I had to do that. And I said, don't be. So he went through all the notebooks in my backpack, and he opened them up, and he read out of my notebooks. I said, you really need to do that? And he said, yes, security. And so I keep these notebooks in my book bag that have all kinds of, you know, stuff that you write when you think no one's going to read it. The end is nigh, fuck everyone, that stuff that you write. My true feelings, fuck 'em. He's reading this stuff out loud to the amusement of other TSA guys who've gathered around. Finally, he let me go with give me this glance like, weirdo, we're watching you. And so weeks later, I'm back at the same airport, and I'm in line. And I'm wondering, what wacky hijinks are they going to get up to with me and my body today? But I'm ready. And I see a man ahead of me in line, and I recognize him. I think to myself, I wonder what they're going to do with him. He goes through the metal detector, they surround him like they surrounded me weeks before. They take him to the side, they put his bag down. They frisked his body so hard that you could hear hands slapping flesh. It's like they were trying to like loosen him up. I was like, wow, they really don't like this guy. They patted him down, and then they brought in another guy to pat him down a second time. Who was he? His name is Cat Stevens. Otherwise known as Yusuf Islam. Some people had some problems he had, you know, with the whole fatwa thing he wanted to get going with Salman Rushdie a while ago, which has him on the NSA shit list. And on that day, as I'm watching Mr. Stevens getting patted down, I wanted to reach over and say, hey, Mr. Stevens, thanks for all that great music. I grew up listening to you, you know. But I realized if I shook his hand while he's in the arms of security, they're going to look at me and look at him and say, ah, it's a terrorist cell. You'll never see the light of day again. So I had to let it go and move on. And this is the time that we are living in now. While I was driving out here through the beautiful desert, I listened to psychotic, ultra-right-wing Christian radio. I have not one thing wrong to me with Christianity. Do your thing. I'm not trying to be disingenuous when I say that. These people on these shows were so terrified. They said, Barack Obama is after us. We are all seen as terrorists by Homeland Security. People are calling in saying, you think I'm a terrorist? I'll show them terrorists. He has this man on the radio had these people so wound up that they're almost foaming. He said, we're all terrorists now. We're all radicals for Christ. I went, wow, these people need a Parliament album. They need to calm the fuck down.